Welcome back to Scratching the Surface on episode 41. Today, I will be reviewing Bring Her Back. Before I get into the episode, please check us out at scratchingthesurface100.com. You can read our monthly article blogs. You can leave and write your own horror movie reviews. And you can keep up to date for future horror movies for the year of 2025 and beyond. So, Bring Her Back, the follow-up to Danny and Michael Philippou's Talk to Me. These two, before I get into the episode, really, the directors, Danny and Michael Philippou, it's crazy seeing where their career has gone. They started out as YouTubers, as teenagers, doing random, stupid, dangerous stunts and gaining views through that. They ended up transitioning to making highly produced short videos on YouTube, and that's really where they made a killing and started to gain some popularity and modern culture. And today they find themselves as filmmakers, and they clearly are the real deal. I think after this movie, totally have solidified themselves in the horror genre, capable of creating new, authentic stories that are engaging, gripping, and quite scary, really. We have the sequel to Talk to Me coming up in the future as well. So they have been busy, and I think they will continue to stay busy. So Bring Her Back. I'll keep the first minute or two spoiler free here for you, and then I will dive into more spoiler heavy content, and I'll let you know when that point has come along. Bring Her Back, just on a basic, standard level of description. This is one that is going to have you locked in pretty much the whole movie. It starts out a little bit slow, admittedly, especially the first act, getting introduced to the characters. It does come along a little bit slowly, but it is all worth it. I'll just tell you that much right now. I think it's all worth it. And there was a lot of hype going into this one, and sometimes the hype falls flat and is not justified. But I think it is here. I think this is a really, really solid film with more underneath the basic story that we see to keep you guessing and have you wondering even after the credits have rolled through. We have a cast of mostly unknowns here. Sally Hawkins plays the foster mother Laura in this film. She's about the only one that really has a full list of movies that she's done work in. The three main characters that we see as well a lot of the time are pretty freaking fresh to the acting industry. Two especially are like brand new. This is like one of their first films ever. And so to see them actually come through and be convincing on screen is amazing. And if they did that in a few amount of takes, that's even more impressive. They did a great job. They really, truly did. And I will talk about the synopsis briefly. We have a brother and a sister who lose their father to whatever death. He dies suddenly, and they move in with their foster mother at her house, and everything just kind of takes off from there. I mean, that's the base premise. Super simple. And this is one that will keep you totally in suspense. And when the time comes for the reveal, I think it hits beautifully. I think it absolutely has weight to it and substance, which is enough to please me as a viewer. I want a movie that can be both scary and terrifying, yet keep me interested in the story and what is actually going on with the characters, the dynamics between them, and the fact that, the decisions we make have consequences. And to see that play out on screen, I think is a very effective plot point and narrative style to give the viewer, something that will keep us engaged, make the stakes feel high. And that's exactly what it feels like here in Bring Her Back. Nobody's safe in this movie. I'll just say that right away. Nobody is safe. I won't say who, but nobody is safe. Even if you grow attached to somebody, their life could be at risk in this film. And I just got to talk about the performance here from Jonah Wren Phillips, who plays Oliver. I mean, come on. If you have any interest in going to the movie, I think just because of this kid's performance, you would consider wanting to go. It is absolutely incredible, the performance he gave. And then Piper, played by Sora Wong, is also incredible. She literally has not been in a movie yet until now. She has a disability in her eye. She's like half blind or something like that. And she saw a casting call on Facebook, and she and her mother decided to give it a try. So they put their name in for a woman who had, a disability in terms of half blind, and she got the role. And here she is doing a great job. I mean, the story has weight. It has heart. Grief and loss is a big central piece of this story, and I think it's displayed beautifully. So I will now kind of transition into the spoiler heavy content. I'll kind of go more deep into the actual story itself, some of the plot points, and some of the narrative that is included in the film. I brought it up. A brother and sister move in with a foster mother. Now, I didn't say a whole lot about the death of their father. I said that it was a quick death, a sudden death. And it certainly is. This happens within the first 5 minutes of the movie. And when you see it, it's extremely effective because we are seeing this through the eyes of the two kids when they run into the bathroom to see what's going on because their dad's not answering them. They find him in the bathroom, in the shower, laying down on the ground, unresponsive, with some kind of substance coming out of his mouth. And we see that kind of shot from the POV angle of our characters. So we feel like we're right there with them, witnessing this terrifying event in person ourselves. And I think it really, really works. And you can feel that. I can't imagine seeing a parent lying on the ground like that. It would shock you completely. And you can see that in Andy, who is the son of Phil. Phil is the one that dies there at the beginning. And you can see the absolute just shock in Andy's facial expression. He doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know what he's looking at. It's like, it's almost, he now cannot act. He's paralyzed in a way looking at this. And Piper, his sister, which, I mean, this is a really sad scene. Piper, his sister, she does act, and she has an ability that he doesn't. She's able to take action, and she tries to give CPR to their father, and it's useless. And this image of Piper trying to resuscitate their father lying dead on the ground, that stays stuck in Andy's head, and he sees that replaying over and over throughout the film. You see bits and pieces of it, and I can only imagine in a situation like that where you're locked up and you can't do anything and you feel helpless. And that eats away at Andy. Again, the rest of the film, he sees the flashbacks, and it's a terrifying situation. And it's one that, yeah, that makes sense. I'd probably be the same fucking way. I can see why he would be struggling with that. And Piper, this goes to show the strength of her character as we progress through the film. Early on, we see her taking action, and she's half blind. She can't see anything. Honestly, she sees nothing in this film, yet she still was able to try and resuscitate their father. She's clearly an independent girl, and she's a very strong girl. So they lose their father, a very tense scene, a great way to like start off the movie because it's like, oh, damn, okay, that hit. Let's see what else you got, Danny and Michael Philippou. So we continue on. We see the foster mother. We get introduced to her. Her name is Laura, again, played by Sally Hawkins, who's been in quite a few films. So she's by far the most tenured on this cast list. And when we first meet Laura, we immediately know something is off, at least for me. I don't trust this woman from the get-go. She's overbearing. She's a little bit quirky in a bad way. And we also notice that she's a foster mother, yes, but she's had a lot of kids rotate through here. We see a point when they get introduced to her, she marks their height on the wall. Andy and Piper, the two siblings, she marks their height on the wall, and we see freaking, I don't know, 5 to 10 different names on that wall. So she's rotated through these foster kids. And we all know how the foster care system can be. We've seen this displayed in plenty of movies. A lot of kids get left behind. They get mistreated. So just that alone, going to see a foster mother is like, okay, let's see how this goes. I've seen a lot of films where this doesn't go well. So you're immediately untrusting of Sally Hawkins' character, Laura, as you should be. I would be too. As the kids, you should have your guard up a little bit. And Piper, the sister to Andy, is a little bit too trusting. Unfortunately, she's looking for somebody to get attached to. She lost her father, and now she doesn't have that parent figure in her life. Andy's a little bit older. Andy, I think, is probably, I don't know, like 17, 18 in this movie, I think is what he's trying to portray. And I would say Piper would be portraying a 13, 14-year-old girl, give or take. So that kind of puts it into perspective. These kids are old enough to know if something's off, but they're still too young to really be able to take things into their own hands. And that's why Andy wasn't able to be the parent for Piper. He was too young. He had to apply for guardianship, and he hadn't gotten it yet. So these kids are young enough to, or old enough to see things for what they are, but still a bit too young to take the matters into their own hands. And that is a huge part of this film. That is central to the storytelling, because if these were adults, they could have gotten out of this situation real quick, but they're not. There's a lot of gaslighting because of that in the film the whole time. Laura gaslights the shit out of Andy. It's kind of crazy. And now that we're in the spoilers, I will explain what happens here. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. Laura's been doing some weird shit. Laura's not a good woman. And that's pretty clear cut within the first 15, 20 minutes that we know her in this film. She lost a daughter. She lost her daughter to drowning in the pool out back. And this is at the same house where it happened, the same pool. There's another boy, another foster kid that she says she brought in. And his name is Oliver, which played by Jonah Wren Phillips. Incredible performance. I mentioned it at the beginning of the episode. Oliver has been at this house for who knows how long, but we initially see him and we think, okay, he looks a little disturbed. He looks a bit freaky. He is completely mute. He doesn't say like anything to Piper and Andy at all throughout the film. And he just has this look in his eyes like, I want to fucking hurt you. He's not a normal kid at all. He's completely shut down in terms of any kind of human, social awareness, any of that. He doesn't have it. I don't even know what he is. He looks like a little demon child or something like that, ripped right out of the First Omen. But he does an incredible job, and that's what his role is to be terrifying, to be unsettling, and he succeeds mightily at that. So she's had Oliver at the house for who knows how long. We don't know why. We don't know, when she had him in, and we don't know anything about him. And she's been using him for a ritual, a pretty fucked up ritual. We see bits and pieces at the beginning of the film right away of this satanic ritual that's being done at the beginning of the movie. You see a little bit of stuff. They're in they're in some kind of shop or some kind of warehouse out in the middle of nowhere. We see a bunch of like half naked people. They're doing these weird rituals. And for us, we don't really know what it is. We see bits and pieces of this throughout the film, but it looks to be like they're bringing people back to life somehow through this ritual. Somehow it's a really weird, fucked up looking ritual, but evidently they're able to bring back a spirit, a soul from the afterworld and bring them back into the real world. So Sally Hawkins somehow, some way found this video. I don't know whether she was actually part of this cult or if she was just on the sidelines watching it and taking the video. Who knows? But either way, she has this video. She has proof for herself that this worked. This can bring back your dead one. And she's trying to bring back her daughter, Kathy, who drowned in the pool. So she has Oliver there as the vessel. You need a vessel to bring the person back. And Oliver is acting as that vessel against his will. This kid's been missing for probably months and months and months. We've seen missing posters at the foster care building. We've seen other posters as well. He's been missing. She took him. She's been using him as a vessel. Now, Andy has known something's fucked up for a while. Right away, he doesn't like Laura, but again, he's too young to tell her, stop what you're doing. And he's too young to say to Piper, let's go. Because he's not a legal guardian. He's too young and he's not able to take that into his own hands, and he's gaslit so bad throughout the film. Laura is intentionally trying to make it look like Andy is irresponsible and not able to be the guardian for Piper, because Piper is going to be her new vessel after Oliver. And that's super fucked up. And we feel that as the viewer, like, oh my God, please, Andy, take it into your own hands, man. We can see that this is not right. Whatever's going on is terrible. Please take action. And Andy, he finally does towards the end. And it's so rewarding to see that when he finally takes it into his own hands, trying to save his sister's life in a desperate attempt to save her life, because the odds are stacked against him, really, truly. He tries to go to the foster care building to get some help. And of course, the people at the foster care system say, Laura worked for us for 20 years. She was an exceptional employee. She was nothing but great to our people and to the kids. So everything's against them in this film. They're being so gaslit. He brings Wendy out, the foster care worker, because she's like, okay, let's check it out. Let's see what's going on. Let's see if there's any kind of merit to your accusations. So when Wendy gets there, he immediately brings her to the back. Not immediately, but she talks to Laura for a bit. And when she's about to leave the house, the sweep was clean of the house. Everything looked normal. And when she's about to leave, she sees some blood on Laura's wrist or on her fingers or something like that. And she's like, oh my God, there's blood on your finger. And it's a lot of blood. And Wendy then knows something's a little off. Laura starts acting weird. And Wendy's like, okay, let go of me, because Laura just starts holding on to her at that point. And Wendy gets out of her grip. We then see Andy come in, bring Wendy to the back building where she's been holding Oliver. And Wendy sees in the freezer of this building Kathy, the daughter of Laura, in a freezer since her death, laying upright. Immediately, Wendy knows this is fucked. Let's go. They run back to get into the car and to get help. Oh, but this one hurt. A car out of nowhere rams into both Wendy and Andy. Wendy is effectively killed immediately. And like, as a viewer, you're like, oh my God, no. Like, we built up to this. We finally got help. Andy was finally able to prove to somebody that this is fucked. We need help. But of course, Wendy is gone in an instant. And we see that Andy unfortunately got hit too. And he's laying on the ground of the driveway, face down in a substantial puddle of water from the rain. It's been raining during these scenes. And Laura gets out of the car in her demented way, shoves his face into the puddle of water. Now, Andy is pretty much immobilized at this point after getting hit. He's still alive. He's still breathing, but he can't move. And Laura shoves his face in that puddle of water, and he suffocates. Now, that's when I talk about unforgiving. This is a film that doesn't hold back. It gets you attached to the character. It has you rooting for them. And then it rips your heart out effectively. So all we have left is Piper. And Piper's blind. And these scenes really hurt because like you feel Piper trying to, she notices something's off. And she actually finds, when she runs away into the separate room, Andy's body. Laura had brought it inside, and she's able to figure out that it was Andy by feeling his teeth, because she knows he has braces, and she feels the braces on his teeth. And that's when she tries to run away. And these are really crazy scenes because it's just, Piper can't see shit. And it's just such a struggle. You're just hoping she can get out of there. You really just hope she can get out of there. And luckily she does. Piper makes it out and she escapes. And Laura, she tries to do the act with Piper in the pool as a vessel for whatever reason. I don't know if Oliver wasn't a sufficient vessel anymore. I don't know if he needed two people or what it was, whatever. I think Piper was supposed to be the body for Kathy, and Kathy's soul was supposed to be brought into Piper's body through Oliver, and it doesn't work. And the way that Piper gets Laura to snap out of it and to let her go, because they're in the pool trying to conduct this ritual. Again, Oliver is the enactment of the actual transfer of the soul. Piper is her vessel. She has Piper in the pool. Laura does. And she wants Piper to be the vessel for the soul of her deceased daughter, Kathy, who you need to have the body of to even make any of this happen. And it doesn't work. And Piper, the way she gets Laura to let her go is she says, "Mom," right to Laura's eyes, to her face. And Laura releases. Hearing her say that was enough to just like put her in shock, because Laura has gone through grief and loss to the extreme. People drowning in pools, kids drowning in pools. That's always been like a top fear for me. I think for anybody. And I can't imagine how much that would eat away at you, and to the point of making you do really bad things, against yourself and to others. And that's what we see in Laura. She's the epitome of that. And it's sad, certainly, but it's a suffering that sometimes can't be helped. And we see Piper get away. We also see Oliver escape as well. He's able to escape his trance that he was in. He was in a total trance. This was a real kid, a normal kid with parents who was abducted, and he's able to escape and get out of his trance. And Piper and Oliver are saved, and we see Laura completely hopeless at this point. The ritual didn't work. She knows she's done terrible things. So she lies there in the pool with the rain coming down. We see a shot, a bird's eye shot as we slowly zoom upward of Laura and her dead daughter, Kathy, that she had frozen lying in the pool. Yeah. I mean, that's fucking exceptional. Exceptional. Certainly had me in tears and at least teary eyed. And we see Piper and Oliver get away and escape. So it's a movie that it's gripping, it's tense, suspenseful, it's heartbreaking too. And when you can have all those things intermixed beautifully, you got yourself a good movie. I think it's a great watch. It's number 2 behind Sinners for me this year so far. Immediately, it gets that spot from the jump. So that's a testament to Danny and Michael Philippou, who have proven they are the real deal in the horror genre. I'm going to give this a solid 4 out of 5. If you have seen it, what were your thoughts? Go check out my website, place your own review for this movie, get signed up. It's totally free. Delete your account at any point. But that's all for now, guys. Thank you as always, and keep watching horror.